gonna be Al Capone. How can I do this? Tom, think, Tom. Who could help you play a famous gangster role? And mumble a lot. Just who?
Mr. Hardy.
Oh my goodness, it's Marlon Brando.
Listen, I've got you. Are you looking for acting advice? Because I could give you some acting advice, my friend.
Well, I'm going to be playing Al Capone in his later years.
Right.
A lot of mumbling and being fat involved.
Well, you came to the expert. Here's what I'm going to say. Find yourself a little person. Get him to dress exactly like you. Tell the director, I don't care, he's in the movie. And go from there.
Call Matt Dillon is what you're saying.
I mean, is he shorter than you?
Pretty sure.
That works. What else are you wondering about this? You want to know how to tackle it?
I would love to. Nice hat, by the way.
Oh, see, that's another lesson. Wear whatever you want. You see that huge pad of paper you got there in your hands? Some people call, I believe it's a scribe. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
A scribe.
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
You're the acting legend.
Yes. Take that scribed, put it in the garbage, and do whatever you want.
Okay.
Let me see here. Who are your co-stars?
Linda Cardellini.
Okay.
And Matt Dillon.
Don't take any cues from them. I don't care what they do in the scene, how they act, what line they're delivering. You do whatever you want all of the time. And when you're off camera, don't look at them or talk to them.
Okay. What about Kyle MacLachlan?
He's cool.
Okay. This is really good advice. Should I really cut my face?
You should cut it more than it says, and then, I don't know, is there anything around the set that you can just wear for a scene and it wouldn't really make sense into the next scene, but you would do it anyway because, acting?
Pajamas.
Okay.
And also 3-piece suits.
Okay, or if you could do both, that would be perfect.
At the same time?
That's right. Yes, please. All right, listen, I gotta go haunt the shit out of Val Kilmer's house for another couple hours, so anyway, good luck, Bane.
Michael, I will use this voice too.
You know when I pick a movie, that's when I'm under pressure now. The question always comes back to me, what were they thinking now? Whoa, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Welcome back. Welcome back. It's January. We're back on the air. We're back on the air for regular episodes. I hope you all had a fantastic holiday season. Nathan.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Nathan has been slaving over a hot movie all day. But yeah, this is the What Were They Thinking podcast. I am Brendan.
I'm Nathan.
And this month, we usually call it Recently Regrettable. And as far as the podcast, episode descriptions, we're probably still going to call it that. But really, it's called Fuck 2020. Because
Brendan
honestly,
just loves to swear.
I just love to swear. Swearing is my fucking life.
That's too bad.
Okay, don't need your fucking morality here.
Like, there you go, right? Just to make that your personality. Who needs punchlines when you have swears?
Okay, you're talking to me like I don't know. I'm not like Jason Mewes over here just dropping F-bombs every 2 seconds.
We'll see.
Okay, wow. Starting off the New Year's resolutions, real
contentious. That's right.
Yeah. We're talking about the most questionable, the worst, whatever of 2020. And to start out this month, we were talking about another film by Josh Trank, who we talked about when we talked about Fantastic Four, his magnum opus in 2015. We were talking about the Tom Hardy starring Capone.
Yes, it's a gangster movie that only Josh Trank could make.
In that it's fantastic?
In the way that Fantastic Four was fantastic.
Gotcha.
In name alone.
Yeah, in name alone, the end. But thankfully, Nathan, we don't have to suffer through this alone. We have company, and I'm really glad, like you know, cleaned up a little around here, because I know Milos wasn't in for the whole 3 weeks that we were gone.
Well, he had to fly back to the old country, and he has to quarantine. He's Coptic Christian, so he actually doesn't celebrate Christmas for another, few days, I think.
Fair enough.
It's like they celebrate in January. It's interesting.
Joining us is a returning guest. He hasn't been on for a little while, but returning to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen, from the home video hustle, hailing from Ohio, Brent is here.
You really buried it on the last end of it there, didn't you, Brendan? Got all hyped and everything. You're like, and Brent's here. I mean, I guess, sure.
I said Brent is here. I gave him a nice intro.
Yeah, no, it was like, hailing from Ohio, from the Home Video Hustle podcast. Brent's here,
That's not even how
Y'all know
I
who the fuck
delivered it.
he
Do you want
is.
me to play
That's
the
kind of
tape?
how he said it, isn't it,
Do you want me
Brent?
to play the tape?
Yeah.
Yeah, run it back. Instant replay.
That's not how this works. Brent is here. Ah! Is that better?
Too late.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, Brent. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, Brendan. Thanks for having me again.
You watched Capone.
Yeah, nothing but the best. I love that when I get to come on the show, y'all save the best for me. I really appreciate that shit.
Simply the best, better than all the rest. I actually asked you
Damn right.
if you had any interest in this one. You're like, you know what? I've been meaning to watch it.
I was going to because I'm a glutton for punishment like that.
So this movie, it technically fits as being a theatrical release because it was released in some theaters, but it was mostly
Where?
streaming. COVID-19 took it down, but this movie cost $20.6 million. Any guesses? Now, keep in mind when it came out, but any guesses as to how much this movie made? Roundabout.
$4 million.
Okay.
100,000.
$514,000.
I was gonna say million. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my God!
Redbox got that money.
No, Brent, it's not a Blumhouse movie.
Well, y'all do a lot of those.
It's because they make money.
They do a Capone sequel, and it's just a zombie movie. I'm in.
Blumhouse's Capone.
Oh shit!
Not gonna lie, I'd watch that.
I knew nothing about this movie other than the fact that Tom Hardy was in it, and he's Capone, and the fact that Josh Trank was directing it. I didn't even know what section of his life they focused on. Although as soon as I started,
I figured
this
that
movie,
they would focus on the good parts. I mean, the entertaining ones. Where he's like this, bloodless anti-hero villain type. No, let's doddering, slipping into dementia. Let's focus on those years. Where he was pooping himself.
The fun years.
But I do think under a more skilled director, or maybe just a director and writer that maybe, I don't know. Josh Trank made one good movie. I'm not going to slight him totally, but I think there is a way to make this story, around his declining years, still work as a movie. I just don't think this is it. But that's what it's about. It's about Capone's the last year of his life.
Last year of his life, yeah.
Yeah, last year of his life, and a bunch of other cast members who, again, it doesn't really matter. Nobody really does much except for Tom Hardy in this movie, and boy, does he ever do a lot. That's what I literally, my first note, having seen Tom Hardy show up as Al Capone, is Tom Hardy is doing ... a lot.
It's an early candidate for you. I'm trying to save this shit, right?
Well, I mean, if anybody's putting the effort in, it's Tom Hardy for sure.
Guarantee you, here it was just this. Okay, Tom, this is the last year of Capone's life. His mind was Swiss cheese thanks to the syphilis, and he's a very angry person. So have at it.
Yeah. I do appreciate though when a movie or when an actor at least swings for the fences, even if they miss, rather than just phoning it in. So I mean, I do kind of appreciate his wild, wacky performance in this movie. But let's get into it because it starts with vertical entertainment. Actually, it starts with like 17 logos.
Yeah, I'm about to say the first 3 minutes of the movie is fucking logos, and then the movie starts and you can see all the logos again just in text form. It's like I saw this already. What the fuck are you doing?
It's always a good sign when a movie we watch on the show when most of it is logos at the beginning.
Right. I knew something was up when it was Redbox Presents. I was like, oh shit.
Was that not? I feel like it was even the same company that had a hand in the Fanatic too.
I still need to see that.
Oh, yes, you do. But you were talking about Blumhouse earlier, which is interesting because this movie starts off like almost like a horror movie. Because Al Capone is just like skulking around the hallways, and you're like, wait a second, is there a killer in the house? What the fuck is going on at the beginning of this movie? But it turns out, no. There's just a bunch of kids, and he's just playing hide and seek, I guess. And then like 25 children come out and just dogpile him.
I wrote he's gonna murder that kid.
I thought he was.
I was waiting on the Tommy gun to come. I thought he was gonna open up the door and she was gonna scream, and he was like, some shit was gonna happen. He's going, and that was gonna be like the credits come up right there.
I thought the kids were just gonna dogpile him. He's gonna have a heart attack, and then a voiceover was gonna be like, "You're probably wondering how I got to this point." Well, let's take a look back.
In the opening scenes, we get to see this vast palatial mansion that he has, the group of workers that he has running the kitchen, how grand like the hallways and the rooms and the furniture, how big the landscaping is around the building. Remember, kids, crime doesn't pay.
That's the message right at the beginning of the film.
Real Johnny Dangerously.
So this is after he'd already gone to jail for tax evasion. He was released because syphilis was eating away at his brain. And they said, well, he can't really harm anyone, although this movie might beg to differ. But so he just like kind of hung out in his mansion for the last 2 years, I think, of his life. We started out at a Thanksgiving dinner with everyone at the table, and they're all saying what they're thankful for. And when the young girl at the table doesn't know what to say, Tom Hardy starts talking, and you're like, "Whoa, this is the voice he's chosen." Because it's just like, I don't know. I wrote down it's like a cross between like Harvey Fierstein and his Venom voice.
Well, first of all, he's trying to hide the accent, and he's also trying to emulate a Chicago, right?
You gotta get up here like this, and then it's a Midwest thing. So you gotta listen. When I was a kid, back in Brooklyn, we everybody had the Thanksgiving, and we had 3 rats in our house. And we would just sit on the stoop, and we'd look out all over Brooklyn. Everyone's having their families, and everything. So years later, we still get together to do this, just to stick it in Brooklyn's face.
Is that about right?
Doesn't it sound like a tired Harvey Fierstein?
Well, yeah.
I could, all I pictured was, John Lovitz the whole time I'm watching this. Oh, you stop it. You stop it, Tom Hardy. So, yeah, he does. That's basically what he says. He just goes into that long-winded story about Thanksgiving.
Super uplifting Thanksgiving story.
Yep. But we do meet his wife, played by Linda Cardellini, and he does profess his love for her, which is something...
As I do constantly.
Yeah. I'm right there. I'm like, okay, he has one relatable trait. He loves Linda Cardellini. Cool.
Right?
He then gets a phone call from someone in Cleveland. We don't really know who he is
Cleveland.
yet. What's that?
From Cleveland.
Oh, you stop again.
He's like, hey! No. See, from Cleveland.
Cleveland, this isn't your show.
Oh, damn.
Get out of here, Cleveland.
Go Mac Quahog.
But yeah, he gets a call from someone in Cleveland, and we don't really know who he is yet, and he doesn't say much. But then they pan back, and there's like a bunch of federal agents in the room with him, and you're like, what?
That's the thing. Like with that is, there's parts in this movie where we see these federal agents, and you're like, okay, well, they got to be real in that scene. But there's other scenes where you're like, they can't be real in that scene.
Yeah. And there's also like a whole character who we'll talk about later who is in a scene not with the character who's like hallucinating him, and he's like in a scene separate from him, and you're like, wait, how can he exist in that scene with that girl with the other person not even in the room?
And that's the thing, like, but was that him dreaming that?
I don't know. It's weird.
We'll get to it.
Yeah. Hashtag not explained. Yeah. So he's sitting around. He's got a full belly from Thanksgiving, and his buddies, his gangster buddies, are like, you should probably.
Well, one of them's his kid.
One of them is his kid. Okay. The other one is like Gino, I think.
Yeah. One's like his right hand guy, and the other is his, I guess, legitimate son.
Yes. So his son and Gorilla Monsoon are sitting next to him, and they're like, "Yeah, you should sell some of your stuff off. Like, you don't have that much money. Like, you're just living here. You're not doing anything anymore." And that's when he's like, "I have a vault," whatever he says.
I hid $10 million.
Yeah. Little did he know, a very successful television program would unveil where that was. Years later,
he pees his pants.
He's telling Al Capone to sell. They're telling Al Capone to sell off some stuff, and he responds by puking up blood and pissing himself.
Yeah,
as one does.
Yeah, I mean, sell your stuff. Fuck that. Done. That's my response.
They won't ask no more after that.
Wait, so you think he made that? He does it like every time so that they develop like a Pavlovian.
Yeah, he's like it's like a skunk's reflex. Just soil yourself so they'll leave you alone.
Guys, don't ask him to sell his shit because he will just piss himself. That's like his response to everything.
Defense mechanism, V.
Tom Hardy just lifts a leg and sprays them.
He looks him in the eye the whole time too as he holds his leg up.
Of course. How else would you do it?
Yeah. Next time they come ask for the rent, B, when they knock on the door, just open and just start pissing yourself. See how they react.
Man, I'm so glad.
Hey, it worked for the girl in Split. I'm just gonna.
It would take so long for them to come to every fucking apartment in this building. Rent.
I must have the rent. From Rent 2, starring Homer Simpson.
So Al is watching all these workers moving these statues out of there to get rid of them, so to sell them and shit. And he's like, "Don't touch my Lady Atlas."
Don't you touch my fucking... I'll rip your fucking head off.
Yep. And then he spots someone across the lake with his binoculars. And this is a moment, I guess, where you're like, okay, so that could be not real. But then again, later we see agents in a van, which I think those are presented as real. Like, it makes sense that there would be agents there.
Yeah, there's that. But there's also the fact that if you're watching it from, like... with everything that happens, even in that end scene and stuff, like the thing that we're gonna get into, that's bonkers. Mm-hmm. All of the stuff that we see could actually just be the unreliable narrator. It could be all of this is being from his perspective, and everything that we see, the agents in the van, all that stuff could just be him imagining that those things are happening to him. Because Josh Trank didn't make it super clear.
No, and I think that is what they're trying to do. But I think the way it's shown, because we can easily differentiate, I think, the dream stuff from the real life stuff, and I think it just comes across like kind of lazy. Like it's just like, oh, that's dream too.
Shut up, Josh Trank.
It just feels like that fake artsy shit. Yeah. It's like, oh, it could be real, but is it though? You got to think about it. You got to discuss it. It takes multiple viewings, which I'm not going to do. Slight spoiler.
Yeah, no, I've watched this once. That's it.
All right, director of Chronicle.
So I'll do my best, Joe Piscopo. I watched Capone once.
Classic. Johnny Dangerously. Never on this podcast. Great movie.
Way better gangster movie.
Yeah, more realistic, I'd say.
Absolutely. Even with the Weird Al theme song.
So later on,
right,
Al Capone, or as he's called Fonz in this movie, he's always called Fonzo. That was his nickname. But you know what? They were going to call they were actually going to call the movie Fonzo, and then I guess executives were like, people are not going to know who that is.
I think it's a Sesame Street movie.
Yeah.
No, that's Gonzo.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Brent, you got it.
If they had called it Fonz, everyone would have thought it was the biopic of Henry Winkler.
Why did Henry Winkler get recast with Tom Hardy?
Hey,
Oh shit.
I'm gonna jump the shark. I'm going down to Arnold's. Richie's there. I'm gonna help him win his girl by hitting the jukebox.
That is terrifying. I would watch that though. I would watch Happy Days with Tom Hardy as the Fonz, but as Capone.
Al
That would be
Capone.
fucking brilliant. But luckily we go back to Capone, guys, because the next morning there's a lot of flies in the bedroom. Why is that?
He shit the bed.
He shit the bed. Yep. That's what happens. And Linda Cardellini is not too pleased. As
He was just trying to feed her, Brendan.
Honest.
Feed her. Throwback.
No.
Oh.
Tom Hardy is Al Capone in the Human Centipede, Brendan. There you go.
Shit.
If Josh Trank had wanted to make this movie, I don't know, relatable, I guess would be the word I'm looking for here. He would have actually probably focused more on Linda Cardellini.
Yeah, no, 100%. If we had like her as like our
Just
like,
this put upon wife
Yeah.
who is used to living a luxurious lifestyle is now in the last year of her husband's life that she doesn't know, obviously, but he's in decline, and she has to look after him. They're hemorrhaging money because they're selling off statues and stuff like that. I want to see her story trying to keep her shit together while she's trying to take care of Al Capone.
And
that I would have enjoyed, despite the fact that I would have been like, what, it's a Capone movie and there's no gangster action? What the hell's going on here?
I mean, technically it's Mrs. Capone, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. If you just keep it named Capone, you're not lying to anybody.
I would have loved if they swindled everyone by having this called Capone and then just being about like his distant cousin or something. who's just like a like a doctor in like, I don't know, like Ohio. Oh, sorry, Brent.
I don't care.
Well, he's from the Midwest. I mean, it would stand to reason.
Yeah.
I could have just been about his son, just sitting by the phone every day, calling, like prank calling his wife every day.
That does happen a lot. He just calls her and then hangs up, and I'm like, all right, come on, movie. I know what you're doing. Just get to it. Dr. Kyle MacLachlan arrives in the movie.
It's Twin Palms. Who killed Laura Piner? See what I did there? Because it's a switcheroo.
I see. Yeah.
I got you. Making his second appearance on this podcast because we talked about him way back in Showgirls.
Oh yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Maybe you should just wear these diapers. And Al Capone and then by the way, at the same time, Al Capone is freaking out at the workers outside for supposedly like dropping his stuff, and he's like, "Rah!" And he like runs out and tries to like throw stuff at them or whatever. The doctor also suggests, maybe don't sell everything and completely change the environment because he could have like a stroke or something, right? A sudden like difference.
Yes,
in
because
his surroundings.
if he's sliding off into dementia, and it's like an Alzheimer's type situation because of the syphilis. If all of a sudden he thinks he's in a strange place, he'll be confused and he will have a stroke.
And sorry, I'm just laughing because when you said Alzheimer's because of the syphilis, Brent had a weird smile on his face.
Oh, see, I didn't see that.
I couldn't help but point him out. Point it out.
Bust his ass out. No, because just when he said the syphilis, I don't know why that makes me laugh. Every time he says it.
You
gotta say it like Hank Hill. The syphilis.
The next character we meet is Johnny, played by Matt Dillon, who again we are introduced to him in a scene where he's just fucking some girl.
Hey.
and he gets a call from someone. It looks like it's supposed to be May, Linda Cardellini. And she's like, hey, you should come down and stay with Al Capone for a while. He's really sick. And he's like,
well, see, they don't show it's her. So when it could be her, it could be Gino, right? Because this is right-hand guy. He's the one who could be calling and saying he wants to, he hasn't seen you in years. It could be one of the other guys who are just kind of like a hangers-on, but we never see that, which makes this scene bonkers.
Well, spoiler alert, it's no one, right? Technically.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, technically it's no one.
Because when that happens later, well, we'll get to it, but I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It makes a lot of stuff not make any sense. Oh, coming next week.
Shit.
But yeah, so he goes off and visits with Al Capone, and they what happens here? They decide to go off. They decide to go off fishing, and for some reason, Al Capone. I wrote down. I was like, "Is this the fucking Driving Miss Daisy remake?" But like they're both in the front seat.
I looked down for a second to do. I was on my phone because I was like losing interest rapidly, so I was playing on my phone for a second. And I looked up and I saw your boy dressed up like the old woman from Batman and Robin, and I was like, "What the fuck is happening now?"
he's got like the big like.
He's got a sun hat on,
sundress, seemingly.
He took the advice from Brando: wear a muumuu and a hat.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
Island
go.
of Dr. Moreau. It's all coming together.
Island of Dr. Capone.
Oh shit!
Oh, there
Do
you
it.
go.
Do it.
Look what I've created.
They start
A
fishing.
carrot that's supposed to be a cigar.
I just love picturing his Capone in all these different movies. It makes me so happy.
You may as replace De Niro with Tom Hardy in The Untouchables.
Baseball.
Oh shit. So they're fishing, supposedly. So I guess anyway. They're fishing, Johnny and Al Capone. And Al Capone reveals that, he hid $10 million, but he doesn't remember where it is because obviously he's got, as Brent enjoys to hear, the syphilis.
He's got dementia from the syphilis.
The syphilis.
The syphilis.
But lo and behold, he doesn't get his fish because an alligator steals it, so he shoots the fuck out of the alligator.
That's my fucking fish. That's my fucking fish.
Kablamo!
My favorite thing he says when he shoots it, he's like, yeah, was it worth it?
He calls the alligator a bum?
Yeah, was it worth it? You fucking bum. Oh, I'm turning into fucking Paulie from Rocky here. Okay. So he finds out about the money. Meanwhile, back at the house, and they go back to the house. They start watching The Wizard of Oz, and I'm like, oh,
reminding us that there are better movies out there.
Oh yeah. Again, another instance of people being like, hey, remember this great movie? And you're like, what are you doing? You're just reminding me that this is shitty. But like, it's funny because they're watching The Wizard of Oz, and I mean, wow, I see your subtle move there, Josh Trank. The Wizard of Oz all being like a big dream. Oh, what are you trying to say?
So you gotta think about it. I told you, Brendan, it's art. This high art right here. Criterion shit again.
If you put an F in front of that, that's exactly what I would think of it too, Brent. Fart.
There's a lot of that in this movie too.
Fart.
The Criterion Fart Edition.
Yeah.
That's right.
They should do like Criterion Fart DVDs, and they're just like bad movies, but they have all these like special features.
They like the trauma library alone. They could make a mint off of, guaranteed.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Beware Children at Play Deluxe Criterion Edition.
Oh, that movie.
The best.
So they're watching Wizard of Oz, and then my favorite scene in this entire movie, Tom Hardy gets up out of his chair and starts singing with the Cowardly Lion.
Yes.
It is amazing. That King of the Forest song. And also like another super subtle thing, like he's singing a song called King of the Forest.
Mm-hmm.
At first I was confused because I would thought they had him singing the Scarecrow song.
If I only had a brain.
Oh, if there's enough drool in your impression, you need to work.
I just don't see. I don't want my microphone to short circuits.
Well, also we were advised by our Prime Minister not to speak moistly to each other.
That's right.
Speak moistly. Put down the T-shirt.
I'm pretty sure people did.
Oh, that was an actual quote? I thought y'all were joking. He really said that?
Oh,
He
yeah,
did,
he
yeah.
stopped in the middle of it
Oh,
and was
shit.
like, oh, that's horrifying. And then he kept going.
I thought y'all were joking. Shit.
Nope. He really advised people not to speak moistly to each other.
That's what's up.
Whereas,
Still 1,000 times smarter than the other guy.
Definitely.
yeah, the other guy was
Easily.
like, hey, spit all over people. Just,
And I'm gonna look at the sun while there's an eclipse.
oh my God.
Here we go. Fireball.
That's
if
right.
only he had gone blind that day. All right.
Nathan about to be tore back out here. He just down that whole fireball.
Yeah.
Yar. I think
Oh,
he's-
dude, if this were like I would drink a pint of this like it was a can of Coke.
Are you like method acting just for this episode because we're talking about Tom Hardy as Al Capone?
No. I have a lot of crushing emotional problems.
So Capone. Okay, so at this point, there's like a noise in the house, and Al goes into his bathroom. Does he think he sees like Kyle MacLachlan in that scene?
No, it's just an agent who's listening.
Okay, because he comes face to face with him, right?
Yeah,
Right.
He just puffs a cigar at him.
Okay, because I was super confused about who that was, and I did not want to rewind, so I figured it was just Kyle MacLachlan like snooping around.
It was some dude holding up like a microphone or something.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Right. And who knows if that's even real? Probably
I was
not.
gonna ask y'all.
Yeah, I don't think it was. But Al is talking to Johnny, Matt Dillon, who's not in this movie. Who's in this movie
not in the
far
movie?
less than he should be. What?
No, he said who's not in this movie. I was like, damn, did I imagine that shit?
Matt Dillon in this movie, but also not in this movie. They're talking. I mean, technically, they're talking about the guy in Cleveland that keeps calling, and we find out that that's his son, his illegitimate son, Al Capone's. And then he just has like a total freak out and spits in like Linda Cardellini's face, and I'm like, no, you do
You
not.
do not do that to Linda Cardellini. No.
Back off. She is not a freak or a geek.
Ah, see what you did there.
And she slaps him so hard that he goes unconscious.
Did she slap him into the stroke that happens?
She slaps him.
That's what it seemed like. That's what when I was watching. We were like, oh, did she slap him into that shit?
Yeah.
Well, it could be that the slap was a reaction to the behavior that he was displaying because he was having the stroke.
Oh, there you go.
Could be.
Right? That's why he was being like so mean to her, calling her like a bitch who doesn't listen.
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
So he gets knocked the fuck out, and then she's like, "Oh shit! Wait, what did I just do?"
Just killed
And
this
this
motherfucker.
is the first time we get the Al versus Fonz kind of it's kind of brought up and put into right in front of us because one of the henchmen who comes over to make sure everything's okay, he said as he's leaving, he's like, don't worry, we're here. If you need anything or Al needs anything, and she says, no, we don't say that name around here. Meaning you call him Fonz, yeah.
Yeah, and he wants all like his goons and guards to go away, and he says there can't be any kids around all these guns. And Linda Cardellini's like, "Boo, there ain't no kids here."
Yeah.
Like all those kids are just in your head.
And he goes to bed, and there's a speakeasy flashback. That's what I have next in my notes.
Well, yeah, but
And Fats
yeah,
Domino's
just,
there, so hey, Blueberry Hill.
Oh, right, I wrote down Louis Armstrong for some reason.
I was gonna ask you that. Is it Louis Armstrong or Fats Domino? Because Louis Armstrong did the song that's playing originally, but then Fats Domino also covered it. So
I
who's it
think
supposed
it
to be?
Oh, well, it could be Louis then, because he plays the
Okay.
trumpet.
Yeah, no, I think it is
Yeah,
supposed
that's
to
right,
be
he did.
Louis. I
Yeah,
think I
Fats
remember
Domino was a
seeing-
piano guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, I think I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
seeing his name in the credits because I wrote down he does a pretty good impression.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you
but-
watched the credits?
Oh no, well, just on like the internet or whatever.
I
IMDb.
turned that shit off immediately, bro.
Well, I just wanted to mention too. Just before that happens, he has that flashback to being in a speakeasy. He also calls the police and tells them that he's being kidnapped.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I live on a farm. You're on the farm? No, I live on a farm.
What's your name?
I don't even know who I am. I don't even know my own name.
Now, guys, we're just want to state right here for the record, we're not making fun of people that are really in this situation. It's just this movie presents it in such a ridiculous way.
It's
that-
goofy.
In all honesty, we're making fun of Tom Hardy's acting choices
Yeah.
and the script.
but also reveling in his acting choices because they kept me entertained in some
Kept you
some
guessing,
way.
did they? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the whole way through, I was like, "How's he going to react to this situation?" But yeah, weird flashback in a speakeasy. He's singing Blueberry Hill, and then Louie is like, "Come on up stage, let's have a duet." And then they're both singing Blueberry Hill. Why not?
Which is 100% something that would have legitimately happened in his younger days.
Oh yeah, because he was like king shit.
He was the man about town, right?
Yeah. Then he turns a corner and he sees a guy being tied up and interrogated, and then Gino just stabs him like, I don't know, 40 times in the neck.
Does that happen? Does that happen? That happens after, isn't it? Where he sees like a younger version of himself in the mirror.
Oh, maybe I didn't even catch that.
There's one point where they do that, yeah, where he's like looking at a reflection. And it's like a young him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they come in there and grab him while he's looking at. He's like, "Hey, come here. We got some guy wants to talk to you," or some shit like that.
Yes, because I actually I described Gino as a sociopath, Patton Oswalt.
He kind of reminded me of Bruno Kirby for some reason.
Oh shit.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Good morning, Vietnam.
The next stop for Al in this weird dream is that he visits some woman who I guess we find out is the girl he had sex with. It's the illegitimate son's mother,
His baby mama.
Yeah, his baby mama. Thank you.
Yeah, see, I got you.
But then she gets killed immediately.
Yes.
She wants to fuck, but she gets killed. And then Al goes back to the party.
Shit happens, right?
I mean, sometimes, right? What's up, Brent? What was that reaction for?
Bad jokes. I'm not gonna make on y'all's podcast.
Oh, you can do it if it's real bad.
Hey, look,
I'll just cut it.
if I made a Holocaust joke and and Brendan left it in, I feel you could pretty much will say just about anything, Brent.
I was just gonna say that they murdered that pussy. That's all I was gonna say.
Oh, see, that's lightweight, man.
See, all right, well, I'm just making sure because
I made a Holocaust joke on a Christmas episode.
but it was a good Holocaust joke.
Oh.
Man, we can never make it big, Brendan, because they will cancel us for all of this.
We're fine.
It's okay,
Yeah,
whatever. We don't have gainful employment.
Leave it all in there, Brandon.
Nah, we'll be okay.
Yeah, to assure itself.
I still contend that joke was perfectly fine the way it was framed.
If anybody wants a refresher, listen to "I'll Be Home for Christmas," because that's the episode that it was on.
Yeah, direct them to where the incident happened.
Well, you know what?
The time code, too.
I tell my kids all the time, own your choices. So that's what I'm doing right now, owning my choices.
Speaking of owning your choices, Al Capone goes back into the room and everyone is dead as fuck.
Yeah.
Except for a kid with a gold balloon.
Which, that whole, like, Josh Trank, no, just tell a straightforward story. We don't need your art house French silent movie garbage with a kid with a golden balloon.
And this is the thing, like, there is stuff like this that works because the person making it actually has something in mind. Like, they know what they want to get across. Josh Trank is literally just doing this to do it.
Yeah.
It makes you think, Brendan. Come on, man. You got to think a little bit deeper than that.
The fuck out of here with your Criterion shit. Feature-length commentary by Dr. Reginald Van Dent.
I know you'll appreciate this, Brent. I don't think we've actually talked about this. That Gamera collection, worth every red cent.
I'm mad. I missed out on it because I know they're gonna re-release them in a different way. But that first big one, I missed out on it because of the motherfucking water bill, man. Water bill fucked me over. I had to choose between Gamera and showers.
I don't know. I'd stink for a month. I'd smell like a turtle for a month. For a turtle.
Can we get Patty's opinion real quick?
Yeah.
Now, she's watching some based on real life, girl riding a horse movie right now. So,
All right, Seabiscuit, got it.
okay. If you legitimately want, I'll get her to weigh in on this one because she's in the room.
I just think it's funny. You're like, oh, I'm good with stinking for a month.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. I'm good with stinking for a month for Gamera. I know for a fact that my daughter Emma is good for stinking for a month because she's done it. So, I mean, it would definitely come down to a 50-50 split between my daughter Cheyenne and Patty. I might be like, just go take a shower at your mom's place. She's not that far away. You have a license now. Drive, sweetheart, drive.
So
I'd have loved if when he said that shit, she was just in the background like, no, the fuck, you ain't okay with that.
Which could possibly be a legitimate response, but again, she's got her headset on watching some girl recover from being recovering from paralysis whilst riding a horse.
$1 Million Jockey, got it.
Ooh.
So, Capone.
It's the one where Tobey Maguire shoots Hilary Swank at the end.
Yeah, while she's on a horse. Okay, so Capone comes out of his dream.
We're talking about that, aren't we?
Yeah, it turns out he suffered a stroke.
He did have the stroke. Yes.
At the same time when this happens, we see Kyle MacLachlan meet up with a bunch of FBI agents, and they're like, hey, we know about that money. Go find out where that money is, because we need to find that $10 million. And he's like, listen, I'll do my best, but, I actually have to, treat him and shit. But give it a shot. So he goes back, and, he goes back to treat him. And at this point, Al Capone has fallen so far down, even further. He literally thinks he's a child.
Well, he wakes up and he can barely talk.
He can barely talk. They've replaced
and
his
needs
cigars
a drink. But no, Kyle MacLachlan, Dr. Kyle MacLachlan of the John Hopkins Medical Center says, no, you have to do a cognitive test before I give you a drink of water.
Mm-hmm. And he's also, don't forget, he's also switched from cigars to carrots, the natural transition down.
Oh, I did love that exchange where he's like, he's gonna need to lay off the cigars, and one of the guys is like, for how long? Forever.
Yeah, and then funny enough, when he first has a carrot, he takes a bite and nearly dies from just choking on the carrot.
He chokes on it, yeah.
So yeah, he's doing a cognitive test, but then suddenly he's like, hey, maybe you should draw this bag of money. What?
Yeah, he's real subtle with that stuff, isn't he?
Yeah, draw this bag of money. Hey, Al, speaking of bags of money, do you know where this bag of money is?
We can't forget. I'm sorry, I know we ran past it when Brent made that fantastic "they murdered that pussy" joke. But before they murdered that pussy, she said to him, dig where it's wet. Which sounds filthy, but is also supposed to be a clue as to where he hid the $10 million that he hid.
Which IRL has never been recovered.
No, but we are if we're going by the stuff that we see in this movie, it was obviously hidden under that statue of Lady Atlas.
Right. If it even existed.
Right.
That's the other thing, too. So, yeah, he gets him to draw a bag of money. Thankfully, his real son interrupts. Right, they're both real sons. I mean, the legitimate son.
Yeah, lives there.
Yeah, and he's like...
Linda Cardellini's kid.
Yeah. And he tells him, all right, Dad, quit the act, because he's having a hard time dealing with all this. And it's funny, they cut to the federal agents, and for some reason they're like, quit the act? What's going on? And you're like, wait, hold on. You guys, just from him saying that, in a quick moment, you're just like, oh, man, maybe all the doctors were wrong.
Got a break in the case, Brendan.
He's perfectly fine. He's committing murders. By the way, Al Capone died when he was 47, so he's he looks like a rough 47.
Dude.
Well, I know. I know.
You spend your life drinking bathtub gin, serve time in Alcatraz, all the whilst having the syphilis from when you were 15. Yeah, you're going to look pretty rough at 47.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, when I'm watching this movie, I didn't know how old he was when he died. And when I found that out, I was like, ooh, yikes.
Right? You're just like, shit, I'm 5 years away from Capone. Luckily, I haven't had the syphilis since I was 15.
Knock on wood.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Oh, you haven't
So
had
it's like since I was 15.
Wait a second.
Ah.
So when you were 15, you got it, but now you're good.
No. He had it since he was 15.
Oh, I thought he was saying he had it too, Brent.
No, he Capone. Well, I mean, not since I was 15,
Oh, okay.
right?
How'd that happen?
You know what? There's a time and a place for everything, and it's called college. And you know what? They have shots for that, so I'm not even gonna get into it.
You know, Brent, when they tell you in the winter not to like lick the pole because your tongue's gonna get stuck.
Oh.
There's other reasons too. There's other.
Oh,
reasons
you
too.
interviewed that guy, didn't you, Brendan? He was a swell interview, wasn't he?
Oh, what a gem of a human being he was. Excuse me while I rage drink my beer.
Your Bud Light.
Yeah, rage drink my Bud Light like a true bro. Okay,
It's not a Pabst.
Capone.
Hey.
Hey, you know what? We're talking about a lot of alcohol, and I think Al Capone would be proud.
I think he would
There you
be.
go.
Yeah.
He does. His buddy Ralphie. I wrote that down. I don't know how I got that. One of his buddies, Ralphie, sees him drawing his like money bag picture, and he's just like, "Hey, you should probably tell me where that is, because everyone else wants it for themselves for selfish reasons, but I totally just want to help you out. I just want to be your buddy and your friend." And Al is just like, and like walks away. And then, we get Al's son goes up to... Oh, sorry, we should mention, when he comes into the room, when Al's son comes into the room, he sees the picture that Al drew of Tony, his illegitimate son. And so he asks his mother, he's like, does Dad have another son? And she's like, no? Unless he's hiding in one of the rooms somewhere? Maybe he's hiding with the vault.
I think it'd be great if she'd be like, you know what, TBH... your dad fucked a lot of. That's how he got the syphilis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad fucked on
Which-
the regular.
Well, yeah. I don't know how long syphilis is contagious as a disease, but is there a good possibility that Linda Cardellini has it?
I thought about that too, but if he
Never
got it
thought
when he
about
was 15, I don't know when they met, so maybe
There's
not.
I know there's like it's not your standard STD, and I don't believe it's constantly contagious because there's unlike some of the other STDs, it has stages.
Yeah.
So, and I think at a certain point it stops being contagious, and your mind is just ravaged by disease.
But at this point, you guys, it's totally curable, right?
Yeah, if you haven't gotten past that point, you can get the shot.
What are you saying, Nathan?
That you have the syphilis, Brendan. You probably got it from Mariah's giant penis.
Probably.
Slap you in the face.
I mean, it's not even her fault. It's just so big that it's so big that it's gonna pick up dust somewhere where it shouldn't, right? So I mean,
Yep.
So
Capone.
yeah, so Capone. So Al, they're having another dinner, and Al Capone has a freak out because he's watching Gino like slowly cut his steak, and he's seeing like tons of blood gush out of it, and he's just like on the floor freaking out, possibly having another stroke. I don't know if they really.
Well, he also has like a St. Valentine's Day flashback because
Yeah.
of the radio play that's playing, right? Yeah.
Well, that's when he meets up with Johnny, and this is a big reveal scene, right? Because he's with Matt Dillon, and they're
How is it a
listening.
big? I don't get how it's a big reveal scene because I think we're pretty much in on the secret from almost the get go when he asks Linda Cardellini to get Johnny a drink.
Yeah, and they showed the empty chair. That's right.
But I think it's still like this scene still felt like it was almost treated like a reveal, though. It was weird.
Yes, it
Oh, it
was.
was, yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're listening, like you said, they're listening to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, not the 1999 World Wrestling Federation pay-per-view where Stone Cold
references.
Steve Austin battled Mr. McMahon in a steel cage.
With the first appearance of the Big Show.
Yeah, hey, it's a
Oh,
pretty
there you
good
go.
show. Check it out, WWE Network. Do it. Use the promo code WWTTPD. That's the
They're
what were they
not a
thinking?
sponsor.
Police department.
Man, if we get that kind of money, right?
I'm just kidding. It's been defunded. Yeah, so listening to this on the radio, and Johnny is all like talking about like, in my past I was skimming money, and but you, Al Capone, you're a good family man. Anyway, here are my eyeballs.
Demolition Man just
He wanted to keep an eye on him.
Hey.
Huh? You had to know when this scene happened that I was making that joke.
Anytime I see like something for a setup like that, I'm like, all right, Nathan's gonna make a pun here, and here. So yes, hilarious eye puns aside, we also find out that that Johnny, aka Matt Dillon, is also the one that was killed earlier when Gino stabbed him like 40 times in the neck. That was him.
He went full on Pacino in Casino.
Oh,
Or sorry, no, Pesci in Casino. Man, that would have been great, wouldn't it? If they had gotten Al Pacino
to play Al Capone.
to be Joe Pesci's character in Casino, because then you could say he went full Pacino in Casino with De Niro.
Hey Sharon Stone, I'm gonna fuck you. One of the weirdest on-screen relationships ever, by the way. So Johnny is already dead as fuck. It's happened before. It's done.
Yeah.
So did they cover it? Was his face covered up in that scene just so they could have this scene right here?
Probably.
Oh,
because I was wondering why his face was taped up.
On 100%. The only reason for it is so we can get the twist.
Yeah.
I wondered if they was like on some trickery bullshit too, because it didn't even look like him under the tape. It looked like somebody else.
Oh, definitely. I guarantee you Matt Dillon did not do that scene. Almost like I was actually shocked when I found out that Pedro Pascal is doing all the Mandalorian stuff when he's wearing the covering, because I could have sworn up and down you could just get anyone to do that, but he committed to it, which is pretty rare. Like, I think if you're the voice, like the voice of the killer in Scream is not the person running around, or like the voice of Darth Vader is not the person walking as Darth Vader. So it's a rare thing to see for sure.
Carl Urban, that shit.
So next up in the movie, we get a weird turn, because all of a sudden we're following this like Investigator Crawford, and I'm like, this is part of the movie now? Okay. And he's meeting with a bunch of feds, and he's like, I got the dirt on Capone. He's got all this money, and the feds are like, we don't give a fuck about Capone anymore. Like, that's old news. Like, he's dying in his mansion. Why do we care? And then he goes straight to Capone's house and like puts a fucking tape recorder down, and Capone's lawyer's right there. He's like, all right, state your name, age, and date of birth.
Try to give a deposition to a guy whose brain is riddled with holes because of the syphilis.
The syphilis.
The syphilis.
But he is
Did you
able
see his lawyer was Neil Brennan from Chappelle's Show?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was looking because I was like, why does dude look so familiar? And I looked at him, I was like, oh, it's a motherfucker from Chappelle's Show.
I bet he has like a tight 5 on just being in a cameo in that movie. But he does, all he's basically able to do is like confirm a couple things. He's like, yeah.
Poop pants.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stewart. Did you say you pooped in your pants?
Poop pants.
Oh no! Oh, that's the second time this week.
Poop pants.
Classic episode. But yeah, he can't even like form sentences, and this investigator's like, "I gotcha." Like, okay.
That's why he just shit himself to end the conversation. Like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that's why I was making that reference.
The second time in the movie, he shits himself, but this one is to evade someone.
The best part about it is it goes, you get that, and then everybody around the table is just like, oh my god, oh god.
Guys, if you didn't think you would get fart jokes in an Al Capone movie, a serious Al Capone movie, you were wrong.
It made me think of that scene in Ted where someone cuts one at the table, and they're like, "We came here on business."
Right, but like in this movie, like what the fuck?
It's out of place in this movie. Yeah. It fits perfectly in Ted. Shit, I might watch that. It's a Christmas
It
movie.
would have been weird if Flash Gordon showed up in this movie, right?
He shit on Flash Gordon.
You ain't shit, Flash Gordon.
But May, it's at this point, so he shits himself to get out of a conversation. I'm gonna try that one day. By the way, I'm gonna try that.
Just
Yeah. Oh no, but I'll fuck up and I'll do it like during a phone conversation. I'll be like, oh shit, I still have to.
it doesn't work at all. They can't smell anything.
Damn it! This conversation continues. Well, you're coming with me then, I guess. But after this shit ninja,
He does smoke bomb. It's a shit smoke bomb.
smoke bomb.
Shit bombs on the ground.
May, aka Linda Cardellini, gets another phone call because she's been getting these. Like we said, she's been getting all these phone calls from Al's illegitimate child, and then he's just like hanging up. And finally, he says something, but then he hangs up right after.
He says her name, I think.
Yeah, he says like, "Is this May?" And she's like, "Who is this?" And then click,
Click.
progress, guys. It's all about progress.
Yeah. Storytelling. Plot.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and guess. Thank you, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this upcoming scene is Brent's favorite part.
Oh, okay. What's coming up? And I'll tell you.
Al.
I think it was a toss up of this and the dude getting the old Pesci in the neck.
That was a strong contender, but I think this is the one. I think because Al suddenly they can't find him anywhere. He goes missing, and they're like, "Where's Al Capone?" Suddenly he shows up with a golden.
He's in his vault.
He shows up with a golden Tommy
Get
gun.
Geraldo on this.
Yeah, he sent him himself. That's why it was so successful. He comes up with a golden Tommy gun and just shoots the fuck out of everyone.
You be right. This was the best part
I
of the
knew
whole
it.
movie.
I know you too
It's
well.
because something's happening, Brendan. It's so nice to see shit happen.
Something finally is happening, and it comes out of nowhere.
Like an RKO.
Like an RKO.
Bam.
Got it in.
So when this happens, though, I actually was like, for a second, I questioned history. I was like, did this happen?
Are we in an Inglorious Bastards type situation right now?
I was like, is this something I never heard of? How do I not know this if this is real? Like, I definitely would have been like, oh yeah, Al Capone, tax evasion, he, bootlegged liquor, whatever, he got syphilis. Oh, and he murdered everyone in his house.
I think that the tip off here is that he had infinite ammo.
Yeah, I was like, he never reloaded that damn
He
gun.
put in the Contra code and or the Konami code, rather.
But then again, bad movie happens all the time, right?
Fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, he shoots the fuck out of everyone, including Gino. Like, he shoots him up. Which again, I'm like, okay, so that's probably like a real historical figure. So if this movie ends like this, I want to look up and see if this guy actually died that way.
I was actually wondering. I think it was around this time of the movie, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, I wonder how the real people feel about this movie at this point. I would love to see their reaction.
It's a real haunting of Sharon Tate situation almost.
Which one's better?
Of this.
After the carnage, which was legitimately one of the best parts of this movie, I'm on Brent's side with this one. We just come to find out that he kneecapped the gardener.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also has like a weird fantasy sequence where he's like swimming with the fishes, literally. Oh, what?
Oh my god, that whole thing, I was just like, this is exactly what a hard-nosed gangster movie about Al Capone needs. That's right, existential angst where he gets to meet a version of himself with a gold balloon. God damn it, Josh Trank, what the hell have you done?
Oh, that's right. There was a fucking tidal wave that took him into Highlander or
Yeah.
some shit.
Yeah, and he was swimming with the fishes.
He shows up in the painting that he keeps seeing in his bedroom.
Oh, that's the same scene too. Where I thought he was gonna get his dick bit off by an alligator too.
And
Didn't they had it in between his legs, didn't they?
By the way, anytime
Something
I see
like that.
like a swimming with the fishes reference or joke, all I can think of is that movie Shark Tale.
Sleeping with the fish.
Yeah, okay, well, I just think of the
right.
Shark Tale bit where he's like, "You'll be sleeping with the fishes, the dead ones." That movie is so stupid, but I love that line. And I think it's said by Martin Scorsese too, because he's randomly doing a voice in that movie.
He's in that movie?
Coming soon.
Yeah, it's like a vocal cameo.
Oh.
He has a pretty I think he's got a pretty sizable role in that movie.
Oh, does he?
think so.
I thought it was just a cameo.
Maybe it's been.
'Cause he was like one of the gangsters or something like that.
I saw it in theaters when it came out. That was the last time I saw it.
Whoa, you paid for that?
Nope, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So everyone's perfectly fine because that was just a weird fantasy sequence. And we get another Thanksgiving scene, and it kind of to echo the one at the beginning, but of course it's a lot different because Capone is loopy-er than usual. And then finally we get our final scene where Tony comes over, his illegitimate child, and sits down next to Al Capone. They look out in the distance, and we get the little Al Capone died, blah 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 title cards.
Well, they do show them taking the Lady Atlas statue away, and this is the first time where they turn it, and you can see that she's like a water bearer. She's pouring water out of a jug.
Yeah.
Which, if you're playing along at home, that Josh Trank thinks he's smarter than he really is, home game. This is where you'd be like, oh, I bet the money was under the statue the whole time. That's why he didn't want those guys touching his statue. Otherwise, rip his fucking head off. I don't know why Al Capone turned into Stu Hart there, but
I was
Yeah,
stretching in
same
my
version.
dungeon. You guys, you want a salad? That cat off the table.
Hey, you guys! Wait, what?
What?
come on now, calm down there, sloth.
All right, so what the fuck happened at the end of this movie, y'all? I don't know, man.
We get the touching reunion and the text crawl that no money was ever found.
Yeah,
But I
the
mean,
one-
like, does the kid actually there? Did he imagine the whole movie? What the fuck happened?
I don't fucking
Okay,
know.
I
no one
thought
knows.
y'all might know.
No one knows, and no one cares.
I legit looked up Wikipedia after the movie was over. I'm like, let me see what they say, because I'll see what the plot synopsis is. They didn't even fucking know.
No, they didn't.
They just explained the movie. They didn't even say what the fuck happened.
Yeah, there's no.
They didn't
there's no
even
synopsis
mention-
on Wikipedia, on IMDb, nothing. The only place you can find it is themoviespoiler.com, and they didn't even. They just had one theory. They didn't even know.
Damn.
But I wanted to say to you, like, Josh Trank did make one good movie. I do think Chronicle is a good movie, so I think maybe he's just better with like lower budget, so it makes him like think outside the box a little bit more. I don't know.
Or yeah, then that could be it.
Because, I mean, this is not good. Fantastic Four was horrible.
Horrible.
And Chronicle was like a good debut. So it's, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe he's just not a big budget type guy.
Yeah.
But that is Capone. Now, we do have a new rating system we're using now, starting this month.
Uh-oh.
So, Brent, as our guest, I will ask you first. Was this movie worth a watch? A drunk watch with friends? Would you attempt head trauma to forget it, or avoid like the plague?
So I would say, like, try the head trauma thing, but you really don't need to do it because it's just gonna put you to sleep anyway. So I'll just say avoid it like the plague. Fuck it. Unless you need to go to sleep and don't want to take drugs to do so, just put this on.
And Nathan, what do you think?
I'm probably gonna be attempting head trauma to forget it.
Yeah. I would also echo that, the head trauma, because I don't think this is on a Muck level or like a Nick Fury level, but it was...
It's not Postal.
No, nothing is, really. Except for Sharon Tate, which I still think is the worst.
Yeah.
But no, I would also attempt head trauma to forget it. The reason I'm not going to say avoid like the plague is because anytime Tom Hardy talks, I am interested in what he's going to do next. Even if the movie seemingly doesn't give a fuck about anything, I'm always curious to see his next like acting choice.
Let's look up a YouTube compilation. That's enough.
That's probably good. I mean, Tom Hardy's a great actor. I just think you need a good director too, right?
Right. And the script.
that helps definitely.
The plot,
but-
Brendan.
Blah. But we are going to take a brief break, and we will be right back.
Take an underwear break.
What were they thinking?
What Were They Thinking is brought to you by HostGator. HostGator is a leading provider of shared, reseller, VPS, and dedicated hosting solutions. Award-winning support is available 24/7, 365 days a year via phone, email, and live chat. Discover why over 9 million websites trust HostGator. Use the coupon code SCHLOCK for 25% off your first purchase. That's SCHLOCK, SCHLOCK, for 25% off your first purchase.
What Were They Thinking is brought to you today by GameItAll.com. Whether it's video game news, the latest in music, or movie reviews, GameItAll.com is your one-stop shop for all nerdy talk.
What were they thinking?
And we're back.
Yes, we are back.
Those are the greatest. Oh wait, nope.
That's not us. That's not our show.
It's not our show.
You're better than that, Brendan.
Interesting tidbit that it's not our show.
Oh, I like how you turned that around.
Mm-hmm.
But it is time, Nathan, for the low haiku.
Yes, the low haiku. 17 perfect syllables to describe an entirely imperfect movie.
Mr. Home Video Hustle, Mr. Brent, would you like to begin with your haiku?
This movie is shit. Wait, there's a lot of piss too. I just fell asleep.
What an accurate takedown.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll read mine here. Tom Hardy's Capone. Firestein plus Venom voice. Lots and lots of dreams.
Accurate.
Thank you.
Capone biopic. Oh wait, it's when he is old. God damn you, Josh Trank.
Quite possibly the only other Josh Trank movie we may ever talk about.
Yeah.
How? We're out.
So you don't think that he's just gonna fail upwards?
I mean, I'm hoping not. Give him a little indie hit. Let him attempt like a Shyamalan comeback where he gets like, a smaller movie to do, and then
Like The Visit?
yeah, and then build
There you
himself
go.
back up, and then do Glass, and then fall again. Yeah, Nathan, Brent, we talked about this movie, but Nathan, what do we always say?
Well, Brendan, we always say...
Don't take a word for it.
That's right, folks. Don't take our word for it. Let's find out what the people and the critics have to say on the Rotten Tomatoes. By the way, that is a horrifying preview image on the Rotten Tomatoes page. I don't need that in my life.
I gotta see
We
what it
actually
is.
don't even talk about that whole thing where he's got like the bloodshot jaundiced eye because he has the syphilis.
Oh,
Yeah, the makeup is really good. I will say that.
Yeah, they did all right with that.
Yeah.
Patty actually even noted the scars on his face and everything. So
Brent's already having a hoot over there, so let's get to it here. How many of the critics liked this movie, Nathan?
about 40%.
Okay. And what say the audience?
25.
Okay. So I mean, overall, not great.
No.
Less audience. All right. Well, let's take a look at some of these critics' reviews here. Let's see. The first one I'll read here from Tim Roby of the Daily Telegraph in the UK. Dropping its leash on a star who needs one, the film mistakes decrepitude for drama, and the closest it gets to mid-scene narrative suspense is wondering whether Al Capone has just let himself go with a number 1 or 2. That is a negative review.
Well, Stephen Rommel, that magnificent son of a bitch, I read his book.
hey.
From the Australian, he says, "That is what I like about it. It's a movie about a dying man trying not to die and looking back over his life with regret."
That is what he likes about it. Okay, Stephen.
Yeah.
There's a full review link.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I mean,
This,
what kind of legwork am I going to put into this
I
thing?
want this podcast to be 4 hours long.
Yeah.
All right, Brent, what do you got?
All right, Brandon Collins from Medium Popcorn. He says, only an hour and 40 minutes, but it feels like The Irishman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I watched The Irishman and I'm like, hey, this movie is going along at a decent pace. I'm really invested in this. I watched this and I'm like, this is as long as The Irishman. Okay. Adam Graham of Detroit News says, and I'm surprised this doesn't say Gene Shalit based on this review, but he says, it's a trip you'd rather forget.
Well, Ty Burr, not Ty Burrell, but Ty Burr
Well, that's a pseudonym. Come on.
from the Boston Globe
Okay.
writes, watching the star wheel around the estate, wielding a solid gold Tommy gun, while dressed as an adult in diapers, is to witness a craziness that feels uniquely American and perhaps even more geographically precise than that.
Wow. That's
2.5 out of 4.
very specific
Kid.
review.
Brian Gill from Mad About Movies podcast just says, that's enough Tom Hardy.
No, it is not. It's the only thing that's salvageable in this movie. It's the only thing that kept me guessing.
The only thing I really enjoy. I enjoy Linda Cardellini, but she gets nothing to do.
Yeah.
Christy Lemire of Film Week Los Angeles says, a baffling misfire. This is just terrible, but exquisitely so and must be seen.
Well, Alan Adams of The Main Edge, it's spelled M-A-I-N-E as in like the state of Maine. Mm-hmm. Capone is a roadside accident of a movie. Unfortunate and potentially gruesome. Yeah, it's still oddly fascinating to look at. The biggest benefit of having seen it is all his first-hand knowledge that yes, it's really that bizarre. Oh, 1.5 out of 5.
And I'm sure Al Capone would be the first to say sometimes dead is better.
Sometimes dead is better.
All right, Brent.
I'm not John Lithgow.
Oh, did he even do the? I don't even think he did the accent, did he?
I think his was more understated than Fred Gwynn's was.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Brent, finish us strong with these critics reviews.
All right, I'm trying not to butcher his name. It says Tony Asinkoma.
Is he the son?
Oh, who? Oh,
It's because they did note in the credits that they changed all their names and disassociated themselves with the name of Capone.
Right. Could be him.
it's from GH Movie Freak. He says Capone is a grotesque. No, I'm sorry, I got to read it. He said Capone is grotesque, mildly disturbing and disorienting, but requires a lot of patience to sit through to appreciate. But that was a fresh review though. So.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's get into the audience here. Let's get into the audience reviews. Jeffrey P. Who says he gives it 1 out of stars, and he says, "WTF? I generally have a low opinion of movies where old people defecating themselves is one of the major plot points." It's a lot longer, but that was the only part I liked.
Okay, see how this one was. Well, I got one from Matt D. I can only assume it's Matt Damon.
Oh, I was Matt Dillon because he was in the movie.
Oh, here you go.
It was great. I was imaginary. 5 stars.
I got a lot of money for doing very little. No complaints.
No point or purpose to this movie other than to strip Capone of any stardom and notoriety. Tom Hardy deserves a better script, director, and movie. Hard pass on this. 1 out of stars.
I do think Tom Hardy, he's great. I think he's great, but I think with a director to kind of rein him in a little bit, it could have been really good.
I'll tell you what. Cast your memory to any Tom Hardy movie. Has he ever phoned it in?
No.
Right.
But doesn't he have that weird thing where he almost sounds like he is, but he's not?
Yeah, he's trying to be understated. He does the mumbly thing.
But it's still really good. Anyway, go ahead, Brent.
There ain't no name with this one, but this is the one that made me laugh at the beginning. It just says, very bad, not about his whole life, spelled HOLE, and it's a half star.
Given the amount of time that he spends pooping and peeing, I think it is about his HOLE life.
Yeah. Dispute that review. Is there a dispute option?
I'm about to look for it right now.
How many people found that helpful, Brent?
Oh, that was actually Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't know.
Okay. I got one here from Todd R. Todd Redgrave, I'm guessing.
Oh.
Rundgren, not
Todd
Redgrave.
Rundgren, actually.
Yeah.
No, Todd Rundgren, the singer.
Yeah. I don't know why I said Redgrave. Todd Rundgren says 4 out of stars. He says, a movie you will remember. The grade is, of course, relative to all the crap that is released these days. Capone is brave and thought-provoking. Also, it gives you an idea about the horrible results of syphilis. This is where it takes a turn, by the way. It gives you an idea about the horrible results of syphilis, a gift from the New World that has ruined the lives of millions of people of European descent. Yikes. Yikes, Todd.
Oh.
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's actually how one of the ways they were kind of spinning it when it was first as like an outbreak type thing. There's a really great Rifftrax short. I think it was about syphilis, where there's a guy whose wife is pregnant, but their son is stillborn because he had syphilis. Real uplifting stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
sounds like it.
Peter W. I can only assume it's Peter Weller,
Yep.
aka RoboCop,
Must be.
or from the Abyss.
Yeah, I mean,
No, Leviathan.
go.
Sorry, Leviathan.
I mean, RoboCop though.
RoboCop.
Or Naked Lunch.
Or those later episodes of Sons of Anarchy.
So disappointed. Naked Lunch was not at all what I expected it was going to be.
Man.
right, there was no lunch or nudity.
No, nothing.
Overall, Tom Hardy returns to the big screen to deliver another dominant performance. It's genuinely pleasing to see the actor become almost unrecognizable as one of the biggest criminals, Al Capone. As a film, this is quite a dark tale of Capone's last year of living and is filled with stunning visuals as the man himself begins to relive horrific visions. While many elements are pleasing, I am saddened to say the plot was indeed a mixed bag for me, as it feels somewhat hollow without any real purpose or meaning. Walked-in entertainment.
Savage.
That's what that, yeah. And, 2.5 out of stars.
Okay.
Walked-in entertainment. I guess that's the W.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's a review from Xstyle, however you pronounce this shit.
Okay.
Ron Hextall? Former goaltender for the Philadelphia Flyers?
Yeah,
Wait a
it's
second,
him.
Brent. That says old schooler.
Oh, that's from back in the day then, right there. 4 out of 10, a cigar-smoking, castrated cockerel. From happy days spirals into syphilistic insanity and reincarnates as a zombie wearing a nappy or diaper. A film with very little value other than to remind us to eat our carrots and avoid crocodiles. And 64 out of 117 people found that helpful, Brent.
Alligators. They're alligators. He lives in Florida.
Sorry, my next band, my new band name is called Syphilistic Insanity.
Also, it's syphilitic. Syphilitic.
Oh no,
there
it's
you
gonna
go.
be wrong though. It's gonna be like what he said.
It's got to be wrong because of the way they spelled it in the review. Yeah, I'm just correcting that person's use.
Oh, I'm so glad so many people found it helpful. Okay. This one is from Ed G, and he gives it half a star. This had to be one of the worst movies. I know a lot of Italian mobsters my whole life since 1980. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The Untouchables with Kevin Costner was really bad. Also all bullshit. Devil face, thumbs down, middle finger.
Damn. Not with the emojis.
Okay.
It's just not accurate, I guess.
Well, Warren S. He took exception to this movie, and I'm gonna have to read this the way he wrote it. Kapoop! I'm not sure why an excellent actor like Tom Hardy signed on for this, but this was a huge mistake and miscast to boot. I guess every great actor is entitled to one flop, and this certainly tops the very short list. 2 out of stars. See, because it was all caps.
Oh, okay.
That's why I had to do all the yelling.
All right, who is this from? This is from Akia 22122.
Oh, classic. Yeah.
1 out of 10. Everyone involved should be incarcerated. I can't understand how so much time, talent, and money could be wasted on making such garbage. How many bad decisions had to be made in the course of making this thing? Everyone involved should be in prison and certainly not allowed to make anything else. The beginning description speaks for itself. Quote, Al Capone was one of the most notorious gangsters, but this is the story of when he takes a dump in the bed as an old man. End quote. I don't think that was in the beginning, but whatever.
No, I don't think that's the opening crawl.
After that, it just says Josh Trash. The first person to propose this idea should have been fired immediately. The worst part is how this movie takes itself so seriously. It's not like it's so bad it's good. No, it's just trash. It's so bad it gives me nightmares because I think of how how a bunch of idiots were given so much money and resources to produce the worst idea ever. 26 out of 51 people found that helpful.
I love how that review suggests that the opening crawl is like, this is not the story of the mobster. This is the story of a man who shits himself. All right. I've got one more, and it's very brief. The reviewer's name is They Got Tea. That's what it is. They got
trash.
The letter
There
T.
you go.
Yeah, maybe. He says, this is all capital letters. Not the best gangsta movie, but Tommy Gunn goes skrrr. 3.5 out of stars.
3.5 out of stars. Well, my last one, it's a little lengthier. It's from Ryan R. I can only assume it's Ryan Reynolds.
There you go.
And he writes, this one makes me sad. And the only reason it gets even 2 stars is the respect that I have for Tom Hardy. I think Hardy actually acted this role very well, but that still didn't make the film any easier to watch. Perhaps it's just my expectation of an Al Capone movie that failed me, but either way, this simply was not a good movie. I feel like an oddly voyeuristic look into the sad life of a man whose mind is falling apart. The one great thing about the underworld soiling himself, the once great king of the underworld soiling himself, it's sad that it's interesting or entertaining. The trailer made it seem like this may be a story of Al's faking the dimension or not, and it's clear that he was not. They also touch on a hidden stash of $10 million, yet don't develop that story whatsoever, or tell us if the money was real, where is it, etc. Sad, hard to watch, truly a disappointment. Now I'm off to make Deadpool 3. I added that last part for fun.
Excuse me while I
2 out of stars.
Excuse me while I wipe my rage away with my $1 million bills.
Yeah.
I just want to mention too, now that you mentioned it, it's weird that this movie ends with the kid reuniting with him, because that's it. I was like, this is the emotional like climax. That's so weird. Like that's what they chose to go with as like the final moment, because it's barely touched on.
Right.
Anyway, Brent, go ahead. Give us the final review here.
Send us home.
All right, I got counterpoint for your last one.
Oh, sorry.
Now you get. Now I got the opposite one for you, because this is 10 out of 10 right here.
Oh shit.
From Krenna 35663.
Oh.
Don't trust the reviews. 10 out of 10. All the bad movies that are out there, nothing with substance. 95% nothing about nothing, and the reviews of this movie so low I almost didn't watch it. But what a masterpiece. If you actually like movies with content, this is an amazing movie to watch. What a performance. I signed up just to put in this review, and 16 out of 29 people found that helpful.
Well, hold on. If you like a movie with content,
That's why I had to read. I saw that line. I was like, nope, that's the one.
I'll tell you this, Brendan. It had content. Most of it was thanks to Tom Hardy, but this movie had content.
every movie has content.
Demons of Ludlow.
I mean, technically, there's stuff in it. It's not good.
Debatable. Dicey.
I mean, we can debate if they actually just went to a community theater and filmed it, unbeknownst to the actors, but, that's neither here nor there. Okay, perfect. So those are the reviews.
So, just real quick, Patty has paused her Netflixing. So we were discussing earlier, Brent and I. He unfortunately did not get the Gamera collection because he had to choose between Gamera and the water bill. And I said, you know what? I said I would have been perfectly fine with reeking and stinking for a month. To
water
get,
bill. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
water
I
bill.
thought you meant a movie.
Right? No. To get it, to pay the actual water bill or to buy the Gamera collection. And I had said, you know what? I'm perfectly fine with reeking and stinking for a week, for a month rather. Yeah, you just gotta say it. Gotta say it.
I knew it. She's saying no.
You're saying no.
I know what you mean.
But he's the guardian of the universe and friend of all
Called it.
children.
Called
we
it.
have children.
Right.
We have a cat that needs water, and I like having baskets.
You know what? I feel that we probably could have gotten water at some point. I mean,
at Mom's.
it was February when I ordered it. There was snow everywhere.
No, there wasn't.
Shower in the snow.
Denied.
If that's how you want, I'll move to Mom and Dad, and you can stay here with no water.
As long as I have my Gamera Blu-rays, I'm all right. I will reek and stink and watch my Gamera Blu-rays.
I see he's very happy with.
Brendan's hilarious. Brent was the one. We were the
my
one
God.
talking. Brent was the one because he was the one and he paid his water bill instead of getting the Gamera collection.
Your girlfriend or your wife is probably very happy.
Yeah, there you go. The spirit would thank you.
Yes, yeah.
So Nathan, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand you. You have a new segment you'd like to introduce to the folks.
I would, and in fact, every time we do this, I will always have a title at the ready, and never once slip with not having something to talk about. But I'll just introduce it because the segment itself is a question in and of itself. So, Brendan. We're kind of all stuck inside still right now because we're waiting for vaccines and whatnot. So I gotta ask, but what you watching, bud?
What am I watching? Well, I actually just saw a really good documentary recently. It's called 12th and Delaware, and it's in a town in Florida. I believe it's like Fort Pierce, Florida. And there's an abortion clinic right across the street from a quote-unquote women's pregnancy care center. But it's clearly like a pro-life organization bought the center and giving out all this like misinformation to people to women that go in about like how big the baby is at 8 weeks and stuff like that to get them to not go to the abortion clinic. And it's really interesting. Like obviously, like you can tell one side isn't super honest with women, and it's pretty obvious. But like the documentary also kind of like stands back a little bit and just kind of lets it exist. They don't really get involved. It's not like a Michael Moore thing where he's like, clearly got one point of view. And it's really good. It's on HBO Max. Wink, wink.
Hey.
So you should check that out. 12th and Delaware.
12th and Delaware. Okay. Well, as far as myself, I've actually been watching a lot of Rifftrax stuff. Just because it's a good way to kind of continue on the Mystery Science Theater thing, and one of the more entertaining ones that I just recently watched was a movie that we covered on the show, No Retreat, No Surrender.
Classic.
Yeah, you can watch No Retreat, No Surrender with a Mystery Science Theater tinge to it. If you check out the Rifftrax version, which is on Prime, at least here in Canada. I'm just probably on in the States, too.
Probably.
Brent,
Hey,
what you watching, bud?
it's funny to go along with Rifftrax. Actually, it was like a week or so ago I watched the Rifftrax for Ice Cream Man.
Nice.
I had never seen that movie or that Rifftrax before, so I got them both checked off right there.
Clint Howard.
But I know that can be on this podcast, right?
It would.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be a small screen channel because I'm pretty sure that movie went direct to video.
Oh yeah, there's no way that thing hit theaters.
Yeah.
But other than that, though, it's a TV that actually just started back. Well, as we record this, it started back up against a show called The Expanse. You ever watch that one?
No, I've heard of it. My friend Luke actually had a lot of good things to say about it, so maybe I'll have to check that one out.
I love that show. It's like political space drama action type thing. I don't know. It's not Star Trek. I'll say that.
It's not Star Trek.
It's not like there's a lot of people that get shooting on there. Shit blows up. People get fucked
Okay,
up.
so I'm glad you said it's not Star Trek because honestly, I'm not like a huge Star Trek fan. So if it's not like that, then maybe I'll check it out.
I don't know, dude. That first series is gold.
I love the first
as
series.
far as comedy goes. Yeah,
I
right?
mean, comedy, yes. I'm with you there. But like, I don't know. I can't get into like anything else after that. But no, I've been wanting to watch The Expanse, so it's really good, top to bottom.
I love that show. It's one of my favorite ones right
I can't speak too hard even about the later Star Trek stuff because my best buddy and Facebook friend Brian Bonsall was on Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. So.
I'm sure he's great.
Yeah.
now. Brendan won't find out.
I got nothing. Honestly, I don't have a lot bad to say because I haven't watched a lot of it. But I just can't get into it. I don't know. It's just I like the new movies.
So
Enjoy
my
the
next
movies.
Patreon pick should be Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Then
Yeah, do it. It'll be the first time I've ever seen it.
With Parnassus Kambala.
yeah,
She won't have a single bit of hair on her. She was also in The Warrior of the Lost World.
Hey, Mystery Science Theater reference.
On that note, Brent, do you have a podcast?
I think I do.
Okay.
Pretty sure. I'm positive actually.
For Screening Country, isn't it? That's
yeah,
the
we
podcast that you
hijacked
have,
the
isn't it?
fuck out of that one. Nah.
Yeah.
It's we got a podcast called The Home Video Hustle. Me, PJ Spirit. We talk about movies every Friday. Just it don't matter what type. It's just we pull them out of a bag at random. I throw shit in there. PJ pulls it out. That's how it works.
Yeah, you throw shit in there just like Al Capone.
That's right. I open the bag up, put it against my ass, and I shit in there. I feed the bag.
Jesus Christ Almighty.
And where are you on Twitter?
Oh, that's at capital H, capital V, capital H, capital P, lowercase oddcast, HVH podcast with one D.
One D. Yeah.
Cool, awesome. Well, thanks for coming by, Brent.
Thanks for having me.
Now we're gonna give a little hintsky as to what's coming up next week. So Nathan, lay it down for us.
The plane, boss, the plane.
There you go.
Obviously Austin Powers, and that's my spot on impression of Mini-Me.
Try to figure out that fucking riddle, guys.
Old school 2.
So there you go. That's what's coming up next week in our continuation of Fuck 2020 month. But Nathan, is Montrose there to say a few words before we go?
He is. Just give me 1 second. I will bring him in. Hello! It's good friend Montrose Munkington III here. I would just like to wish all of you a Happy New Year. I hope you had a delightful Christmas and that Father Christmas visited you. I am Montrose Munkington III, and I would like to invite you to view my YouTube channel, which has not been as updated as I'd hoped lately. However, it is that time of year. But if you would like to see me on the YouTube's Montrose Munkington TV, you can peruse my back catalog. There is a Christmas special in there from a few years ago, so do enjoy that. If you like that, you can go to Facebook and be my friend in the group Montrose Munkington III Esquire and Friends. And then finally, if you'd like to, you could tweet me on the Twitter boxes with your opposable thumbs at Montrose III. That's the number 3 D. Thank you. More later.
You hear that, Brent? Peruse that back catalog.
Hey.
It's a full back catalog actually.
Ooh,
Montrose
fullback.
got back. I think I'm using that right.
That's correct.
Hey, Montrose.
I'm hard at twerk.
Hey, Montrose, you there?
Yes.
Would you say that Capone sucks monkey fuck?
I did. Those words don't make any sense. However, I will say that this movie did indeed lubricate with their mouths monkey genitalia. That is to say, if I could do it in the parlance of the street, this movie sucked monkey balls.
Thank you.
You're welcome. More later.
Thanks for clarifying that. That is it. That is it for Capone. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram, WWTT Podcast. Search for us on all the podcast apps. We are there. But our home base, much like Brent, is Age of Radio. Age of Radio.
Big time.
There it is. Yep. ageofradio.org/whatwerethéthinking. Or you can just go to ageofradio.org and find us and check out a whole bunch of other shows like Home Video Hustle, Everything I Learned from Movies, and a bunch of other
Those
folks.
guys.
Block them.
Who'd they ever beat?
If they're not shitting their pants, I'm not interested. But other than that, yeah, you can find us on TeePublic, Redbubble, Patreon, patreon.com/WWTT podcast. And that's about it. So I guess after I say again, thanks, Brent, for coming by to talk about this masterpiece.
And again, thank you for having me.
Nathan, do you have any questions?
I got a few. I'll tell you that.
All right.
I mean, with a movie where you're covering one of the, I don't know, the more ruthless gangsters of the Prohibition era, and with a movie where you get an amazingly talented actor who never phones it in Tom Hardy, and with a movie where you had $20 million to spend,
20.6, yeah.
$20.6 million, and with a movie like that, and you decide, I'm going to focus on the years that he had the syphilis. Josh Trank, I need to know,
Yes?
what were you thinking?
I'm a scat man. I'm a scat man.